Hello students, welcome again to the YouTube channel of Next IAS. I am Anil Tiwari. I am back again with another session of daily news analysis. Today we have 4 interesting articles in the prelim section and 1 article regarding gold loans in the main section. In the prelim section we are covering as first article the GPS spoofing. So Indian Air Force is denying that it took place and the mission went well, and we will discuss what is this GPS spoofing. Then second article will be on Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary. So we have a new home, another home for the cheetah. We will be reintroducing, or let's say introducing them into a new place within India only. So that's another news. Then we have C. Sankaran Nair, this great man from the 19th century. We will be discussing his profile because a great movie is gonna come and many people don't know about him also. So we will discuss about him, and you'll get to know about this interesting personality from India's freedom struggle. Then we will have one of the interesting personality from solar system, the Saturn and the moon king, as they say it. So we will discuss what new moons we have discovered, and we will discuss a little bit about other moons and a little bit about the missions that we have sent to Saturn. And then at the end we will discuss the mains article on the gold loans, the surge in the gold loans and the detection of the NPAs in these loans, and we will end the discussion there. You will have practice quiz to follow. You will have notes at the end of the discussion, so download them and let's watch the first session. Alright, so the first article relates to GPS spoofing. Very quickly, this has been in news because there was a mission that was said that it had gone wrong, mission of Indian Air Force because of GPS spoofing, but the force has denied it. So we are discussing this, what is GPS spoofing and then what is GPS, and we will relate this with the fact that UPSC always try and ask questions related to navigational satellite system, because it has asked that in detail question about NAVIC, the Indian satellite system, then about GPS, which country have GPS or not. So it is very interesting that we should study. Very quickly we will go through it. So backdrop is this, the relevance will be GS3 Science and Tech. So what is GPS spoofing? It is a cyber attack in which the signals are fake, that a signal are sent to the aircraft, a fake signal to basically misguide it, and when it is misguided it basically goes down. So that is basically GPS spoofing. Alright, spoof, it's a very simple phenomena. So usually we are using, for example, let's say there is an aircraft. Okay, this aircraft might be using a Gagan system. We have a Gagan system. We will discuss what is Gagan. So it is using Gagan system, a GPS enabled augmented navigation system of India itself. So this Gagan system will be guiding this aircraft to go in a certain direction. But what GPS spoofing will do? GPS spoofing will basically introduce a false signal or misdirected signal that will change the course of the movement, and then it can lead to some wrong ends. So this is GPS spoofing. What is this GPS then? Global positioning system. You and I both use it every day. We put a location on a map, we find the direction, we go there, we can monitor ourselves, we can ask somebody to send the live location, they can send live location, we can monitor them. All these things is done through global positioning system. Who owns it? US government. Who is running it? US Space Force. This is facts about GPS. When it started, how it started, what is the science behind it? Very interesting. So the idea came about during World War II and thereabouts. So in US, people recognized that when Sputnik was being launched, or let's say missiles were being launched, they recognized that okay, we can track these missiles down through radio signals. There is a great effect called Doppler effect. So if a vehicle is moving and that vehicle is playing a sound, if it comes towards you, you can hear the sound in a high pitched manner. But if it is moving away from you, then the pitch, or let's say the intensity, or it goes down. So you can have that impact when vehicle moves in front of you in a very high speed. You can see the difference in the sound. That is called Doppler effect. So based on this effect, we can determine, recognize and understand a location of a object. That's the idea behind GPS. Then more complex ideas like time is introduced into it, and then we can have location, time, distance, angles, all these things combined together, we can exactly know where the location of the object is. So this is basic about GPS. Now how do we do it? We launched a lot of satellite into the space in the 1970s and 80s. We launched around, now we have around 30 satellites, out of which at least 24 should be working for GPS to work. So remember this fact, around 30 satellites are there, 24 should be working. And then these satellites, what they do, they relay the radio signals to a receiver. That receiver basically gets at what position this satellite is. It is basically the altitude, the distance and the time at which the signal was sent. So all these things are basically received by the GPS, and from different satellites, at least 4 satellites send this signal all together, and based on that it can basically analyze the position for this receiver. So this is how GPS is working. So the working of GPS is such. In this system there are 6 different orbits in which these satellites are moving, and at least 2 rounds are done by each satellite in a day. So this is another fact that you should remember. And anyone on Earth at least will be able to see 4 satellites of this constellation. So remember, there are 30 satellites, at least 24 should be working, then the complete 2 orbits in a day at least, and then we have 6 different orbits in which these satellites are moving. And the system through which GPS works is that it relays signal, time, altitude, location, all these things are relayed, and this receiver analyzes them, and there is a method, and through this method they can recognize this position. So this is the working system of GPS. So all these calculations are called trilateration and then triangulation. Big words, don't bother about it. Remember that based out of distance it can be calculated, and based out of angles it can be calculated. Both ways it can calculate. Combination of these two can be used also. So trilateration or triangulation, both methods can be used. Okay, so this is basics about GPS. Applications are wide ranging, applications are all over the place. You can use GPS if you can use navigation, then you can use GPS. So let's say environmental conservation is there, so you want to mark an animal and then observe its territory or what it does, you can put a GPS collar on them. If you want to have help in disaster, you can do that, because in disaster locating people, locating vehicles and other things are very important, so you can use there. You can use for military purposes, because you know that these locations are very sensitive, you have to have different channels for them, so you can use the restricted area of these GPS systems. All GPS systems have different segments for different things. Commercial, it is a different segment, for people it is a different segment, and for defense, different segment. You can have disaster, environment, military, agriculture also. All these drones, they use this GPS system, so you can fence, basically you can geo fence your farm. You can put that data into your drones, and those drones can be used for spreading maybe herbicides, pesticide, whatever. Okay, so GPS can be helpful for that. If you have watched the Interstellar movie, all these tractors which were working there, they were GPS enabled. They were moving along the field autonomously, based out of GPS system only. So agriculture, you can do that. Field mapping, you can do many other things. Then you have navigation, location, as usual, understood. Then we have mapping and surveying and precise timing. All these things you can do. Timing, precise timing meaning what? All these satellites in these GPS systems, they have atomic clocks. These atomic clocks are accurate to many decimals of time. Okay, they are very accurate clocks. So you can always set your clocks to the satellite system or GPS system. In your phone also there is an option. When you install a new phone, you have an option that GPS enabled timing is there or not. Okay, so we have different GPS systems around the world. UPSC asked question from here. So Galileo is there, Galileo is there, GLONASS is there for Russia, then we have BeiDou from China, and QZSS from Japan. So these were there in the prelims. Then we have NAVIC system for India, that is IRNSS, Indian Regional Navigational Satellite System, or also called as NAVIC, NAVIC. This is a very different system. This is not a global system because it is very regional. Names suggest so. It is a regional system. It works beyond 1500 kilometer of India's border. It works till then, and then it is working on a different mechanism also, because it has less number of satellites than GPS. It has around 7, 3 in geostationary and 4 in geosynchronous orbit, and they revolve in a way that they form a different pattern, and then you can basically locate up to a 20 meter accuracy, 50 nanosecond accuracy in this range, and it is basically interoperable with all the other systems like GLONASS, Galileo and BeiDou, and GPS also. And then coverage area I have already explained, that 1500 kilometers beyond India's border. UPSC asked this. This was asked by UPSC, and it has both protocols, restricted protocol and then standard positioning service for everybody. Then there is this Gagan system. What is this Gagan system? Gagan system is, you can think of that, okay, special feature for aircrafts basically. So it is using GPS, and it is basically augmenting the GPS system for aircrafts, and it is moving aircrafts in a particular direction. It is important because the GPS spoofing basically was done to misguide an aircraft. So you should know what is Gagan. Based on this discussion, try and solve this question, and we will jump to the next article that is related to Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary. Very important because we have a new place for cheetahs, because we have to have different places for these two populations to grow. Why? Because genetic diversity will only come when they are distant, put on a distance. See, in a way that, okay, we have reintroduced cheetah from Africa, but that population will become homogeneous eventually, because they will intermingle, interbreed, but that will be very harmful because risk of genetic disorders will increase. So we want to have a pool of cheetah put in a different place where they grow separately, and then we can every now and then we can intermingle them, and then we can have a genetically diverse, healthy population of cheetah. So that is very sustainable for reintroduction to become successful also. So panel has given a nod. Yes, you can reintroduce into Gandhi Sagar. It will come under GS3 environment. So Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary, it is in MP, Mandsaur and Neemuch district. It will be in the northwest direction of Madhya Pradesh, on the border of Rajasthan. You can see the location here. So this is Gandhi Sagar. You have two reservoirs, Gandhi Sagar and Rana Pratap Dam, and then also you can notice Rawat Bhata. What is there in Rawat Bhata? If anybody can tell what is there in Rawat Bhata, it is related to atomic energy. So comment in the comment section. So this location is very interesting, and you can see the terrain also. It is very arid, semi-arid area, because cheetahs usually like the savanna style environment. So this is there. So that's why they are being introduced there. So it was established in 1974, and it has Chambal river system into it, and then we have this Chambal river coming from Janapao, back from Janapao near Indore, somewhere there, and then it comes through this and then meets Yamuna at Etawah. It meets at Etawah. The biographic zone is, it is part of the Central Highland, the Deccan Plateau, and then we have, it is a semi-arid region. Flora will be the usual suspects there. The Palas, or let's say teak is there, Tendu is there, Bear is there, Amla is there. I'm from that area, so I'm very familiar with this flora and fauna. It's really nice when you go in the rainy season, but it looks almost like a desert if you go in the Patjhad season or this season. So it's a very vastly changing area. So fauna, we have Indian leopards. Question was there from leopards in the UPSC prelims 2024. It comes under Schedule 1 WPA 1972. We have Nilgai. It creates a lot of problems to people, Nilgai, because it is also creating problem to farmers, not all people, farmers. And then we have Chinkara. Then we have Indian wild boar. Then we have sloth bear. It is very rare to sight sloth bear there. We have Magar and Gharial. What is the difference between Magar and Gharial? So Ghada, you can understand, it has a snout like a Ghada. So earlier we used to have these kind of Ghadas, these really thin necked ghadas. So like that, this gharial has a snout, and gharial also is very rare, relatively rare than the magar. Magar is more versatile, more adaptable, so it is found everywhere. But both of them are fresh water animals, uh, uh, and not animals, fresh water species. And you have to remember this IUCN status. Then it is vulnerable, but it is critically endangered. So gharials are very important. Then we have WPA 1972 Schedule 1 and Site Appendix 1, and then 1972 Schedule 1. Okay. About Gandhi Sagar further, avifauna, we have Indian peafowl, pond heron, Indian roller, migratory ducks and geese. They come during October, March. Then we have this basically Chambar river ecosystem is there. In that, it acts as a buffer zone, and also it is a Central Asian flyby for many birds. So this is very important. And then we have Project Cheetah. Little bit facts about Project Cheetah. It was launched in 2022 from Kuno National Park, and we have the objective is to basically reintroduce this cheetah. And why it got extinct from India, the Asiatic cheetah. Basically, Asiatic cheetah got extinct from India because it was poached on a high level, and the habitat also lost. And then we have steering body that is found by NTCA, that is called National Tiger Conservation Authority. We call it Cheetah Project Steering Committee. Then we have this fact that Gandhi Sagar was chosen because it is basically suitable, because it is part of the Kuno Gandhi Sagar Mukundra Hills landscape, suitable for meta population management. Then we have similar habitat like African savanna, that becomes very important, and geographically distributed population will be good for their sustainable period reintroduction. The comparison between Indian, or let's say Asiatic cheetah and the African cheetah that we have introduced. So current habitat for Asiatic cheetah is only Iran. Iran denied that reintroduction efforts of India. They did not want it to come out of Iran. Then we have African cheetah is widely spread. Presence in India for obviously Asiatic lion is extinct since 1952. But African cheetah is not native to India. It has been reintroduced, and it is there in Namibia and other countries. Physical appearance is the Asiatic is slightly smaller. It has paler coat with more prominent facial markings, but the African one is slightly larger and golden tan coat and evenly spaced black spots. Then social structure, generally solitary. Males may form coalition in the African side. Then conservation status, it is critically endangered, but it is vulnerable, just like the magar and crocodile. So the Indian Asiatic cheetah is critically endangered. Threats, again similar threats, that poaching and habitat loss. Then adaptation in India, it was native, but it has been reintroduced in India. Based on this discussion, try and attempt this question. We will jump to the next discussion. So the next article is related to the great personality of C. Sankaran Nair. He was from Kerala, present day Kerala, but at that time in Madras presidency, he was a great lawyer, and then he rose to the ranks of judges. He became one of the first judges in Madras court, and then he was knighted, and then he became member of the executive council, many things. So he was a great man, and we have a movie on his life based out of an autobiography, and we also have his book available to us to read. And he was one of the staunch fighter against the British injustices and racial discrimination and many other things. And he was a great man of great honesty, personality, and many other great qualities. So we will discuss him briefly. For our prelims perspective, we may never know that UPSC might ask question. So it will come in your GS 1, personalities of the national movement, and then we have Prime Minister Modi in the movie as a context, Modi mentioning him as a great leader. Early life, he was born in, again I said, Palakkad, at that time Madras presidency, now in Kerala, and he got his education from there only, and then he rose to the ranks of judges, advocate general, and then he became the first Indian to be appointed as a judge in the Madras High Court, and then he became a member of Viceroy of Executive Council, the biggest achievement in 1915, Before that, he did a lot of other things. He held the portfolio of education. He was knighted also in 1904. In 1897, he was the youngest, the Yuva president of the Congress, the real Yuva president of the Congress, and he advocated for greater Indian representation in the civil services and legislative bodies. He was a strong critic of the British laws and racial discrimination. In one of the about a little bit about his personality, in one of the judgments named that Budasna versus Fatima case in 1914, he passed a radical judgment. Read about the judgment. It says that those who converted to Hinduism cannot be treated as outcasts. So it was a great radical person. He also passed certain judgment in favor of intercaste marriages, interreligious marriages. All these things were happening way back. He was against racism also. He advocated that okay, no junior should work as a junior as a English barrister. No Indian vakil will work like that. He should have a right to choose, basically, right to choose his senior. That was his movement. Then further in 1919, he played a pivotal role in the Montagu-Chelmsford reform, and the diarchy at that time that came about at that time was pushed by him. So he also expanded certain provisions in those reforms. So he was doing all these things. And then major contribution, he again, as I said, he resigned from the that executive council in 1919. He was part of the Viceroy's Executive Council against the movement, let's say the massacre in Jallianwala Bagh in 1919. This was unprecedented at that time, because somebody holding that kind of position at that time was a rare sight, and resigning from that was a big deal. And then he was sued by none other than the General Dyer, Michael O'Dyer, in London, and then he fought the case against all bias and odds, but he was defeated. One member of the jury was with him, but he lost that case. But that case became, obviously, at that time, this was the method with the extremist flank of our national movement, that they used to have all these cases against them so that they can go and express their opinions. So this happened. He lost the case, but he became very famous, and his case became very famous. Then he wrote a book in 1922 praising the intention of Gandhi at that time, that he was fighting against British, but the methods was not appreciated by Mr. Nair. So he wrote against Gandhi in this book, Gandhi and Anarchy, and then he founded these two journals, and he had edited them also. The legacy is that the movie is being made on his life, and constitutional reforms were given a lot of credit to him. Based on this discussion, try and attempt this question, very basic question designed on this article only. Try and attempt. We will jump into the next topic. The next topic is on the moon king, that is the Saturn. So Saturn, you have seen pictures of Saturn. Saturn has a lot of rings around it. It also has a lot of moons. So now it has dethroned Jupiter, because it has been confirmed that it has 128 more new moons. So the total number of moons now is 274. Very interesting. Saturn becomes the new moon king. By the way, this is the first image by the Pioneer mission. That went there for a flyby mission, and this is the first image that was sent. So recently, a telescope in the Hawaii confirmed that Saturn has more moons. Why they have been discovered now? Because they have used a better technique. The technique was that they took sequential images and then they clarified them. This new technique, and the fact that right now we have a favorable position of the Saturn vis-a-vis that it does not have a lot of background noise, light noise coming out of it, and in the Milky Way galaxy also, this Saturn it has a favorable position. Because of this, we could observe all these moons. But the nature of these moons is icy, and they are irregular moons. They are not regular moons, and it also raises a question: what can be considered a moon or not? But it is very important that we know that how Saturn might have got all its moons, because it is almost at the outer circle of the solar system. It can attract a lot of bodies because it has a larger mass, and it also might have been formed out of this gaseous giants at that time in the initial part of the formation of the solar system. So a lot of things can be learned from this finding of new moons. So the Jupiter's moons are rocky, but the Saturn moons are icy, to be found icy, more icy. So this is very important. And then we have this gravitational influence of Saturn and Jupiter, that it protects from Earth from many flying objects from the outside world. Then we have planetary formation theories. All these can be basically confirmed and approved, that accretion theory and capture theory, that okay, gradually things get accumulated at a place, and then they can form a moon or a planet. And then there is this capture theory, where a body with good enough gravitational force can capture other bodies. So this is a basically approval to that theory. Then we can study about solar system evolution. It is indicating that collisions happened throughout the history. A very interesting thing to remember, that all these moonlets are very recent when it comes to the time history of the solar system, around 100 million years ago. But the formation of the planet, it very old. It is around 4.65 billion years old. So that is very important. The discovery opens up new things, like we have to do a deeper scan to all these planets and the moons, and then also we have to see how dynamic the surfaces have been. And then also we can push the classification also. The way Pluto got out of the planetary system because of the definition, many moons can go out of this definition of moons. Any object can be called moons, or it is a debris. So that opens up a new thing. Now we need to look at other moons, because moons are very important, and life might not be possible on other planets, because planets may not be that much habitable, but life might be possible on other moons. We will look at it. So we have Earth, we have one moon. That moon influences a lot of things. Tides are there, then we have a rotational thing, and then also moon is the only celestial body apart from Earth on which humans have lent feet there. They have went there. So moon is the only, Earth moon is the only moon. Then we have Mars. It has two moons. One is obviously in a path which will eventually crash into Mars, and the other is it's kind of a captured body that is roaming way outside the normal zone. So we have these two, Phobos and Deimos. And then we have Jupiter, 95 plus moons. Important is that Ganymede is there, which is the biggest moon in the solar system, and it has subsurface sea also, and it is claimed that it has subsurface sea also. See, also it has magnetic field just like Earth. And then we have Io, one of the most active, volcanically active planetary object in the solar system. Then we have Europa, very famous Europa. This Europa is in news every other day, because we consider it as one of the most prominent candidate for life. And then we have Callisto, very heavily distorted planet, but very less on radiation. Then we have Saturn, 274, including the new ones. And then we have Titan, the second largest moon in the solar system, and the Cassini-Huygens planetary mission that we have sent has studied. And the Titan is the moon apart from our moon that has somebody landing on its surface. So we sent this Huygens. Huygens basically landed on this planet, and it gave the only picture of that moon also. Then we have Euclidus. It is an icy moon. And then we have Ipetus and Mimas. About this Saturn missions, the very first thing we should remember, Pioneer 11, which gave this photograph, and we got very interested in these rings. Then we have this Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. They sending a lot of pictures. They were passerby missions, but they sent a lot of pictures of the Saturn, and we know a lot of details about these ringlets, rings and moons and everything. Then we have this Cassini aircraft, one of the most prominent, one of the most difficult mission ever done by humans. I will consider that this was very difficult, as much as difficult as landing on moon, because Saturn is very far away, and we went on to orbit one of the human-made object on this planet, and then we plunged it into the Saturn atmosphere, and we got to collect some samples also. Very complex, very interesting mission by the NASA. And then we have Huygens, which went and landed on this Titan moon, and then it sent one of these pictures. This is the picture from the Titan. And then we have all the other missions also, like Spitzer mission, which basically confirmed the availability of other rings. Then Cassini, very sad plunge into the Saturn's atmosphere. This is the picture, Cassini's final plunge. Remember that Cassini kept on sending these data and facts about Saturn at the last moment. Consider this question, try and solve this question. Okay, we will jump into the last article, a very good article on gold loans and the issuing of these gold loans, and the the issue of NPAs, rising NPAs in the gold loans. So RBI has flagged this thing, and RBI has issued guidelines gradually, and now recent new guidelines has come up, and very important that in India anything related to gold is asked by UPSC multiple times in mains and prelims and everywhere. Okay, so very important that you understand what is this gold loan, why the problem is spiraling out of hand, and how RBI's guidelines are going to help, because directly a question can come in mains. I'll show you. Earlier question came. So the backdrop is this: GS3, Indian economy and economic development will be there. So earlier the craze of gold led to this surge in import of gold, and then we had this gold monetization scheme. Okay, so this was asked in 2015. Now a question like this can come on gold loans, that recent surge in the gold prices led to a lot of gold loans, and how this gold loan is leading to NPA, what it can be detrimental to Indian economy, explain, and or how RBI's guidelines are going to help. Alright, so we will discuss this, we will discuss the answer. So first and foremost, fact about this finding. So RBI's discovery of the gold loan NPAs is this, that gold loan outstanding of banks and NBFC was around 11,000 crore from 9,000 crore in the 2023. एज ऑफ दिसंबर 2024 बैंक्स के करीब 9,000 करोड़ है, और 9 लाख करोड़ है, और 11 लाख करोड़ बैंक्स का है, NBFCs का है, जो कि 2023 में 2023 में सिर्फ 8 लाख करोड़ था. अभी वो कितना हो गया है? अभी वो करीब करीब टोटल हो गया है 11 लाख करोड़. ओके, ये टोटल है बैंक्स प्लस NBFCs. ठीक है, ये टोटल है 11 लाख करोड़ हो गया. तो ये देखा, ये सर्च देखा, और जो ग्रोथ रेट है वो करीब करीब 28% है. NPAs में, लोन में, गोल्ड लोन में जंप जो है 28% का है, और NPAs में करीब करीब, आउटस्टैंडिंग में करीब करीब 27% का है. 27% जंप इन पेंडिंग आउटस्टैंडिंग इज ह्यूज अमाउंट. ओके, एंड देन जंप इन 28% लोन्स में जंप हो रहा है 28%, वेरी बिग डील. नाउ why it is happening? Why are people giving away their loans, for giving away their golds for loans? Why? Because first and foremost you have seen that around in 2021 48,000 का था गोल्ड, अभी कितना हो रखा है? 93,000. So this surge in the gold prices has led to people realizing that they can get a good amount for their gold. So that is one thing. Secondly, gold loans are very easy. If you go to a bank, you give them gold, they will easily give you money. So this minimal documentation and swift processing is one of the reasons. Then instant gold loan for flexible repayment also. So banks and PSUs, every other bank, good reputable bank also, they are giving easy repayment options. That okay, you can give in 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, you can give away your, and personal loans are being fetched by people. Then we have this Indian culture where gold is available. So everybody, every house, even the poorest house have some gold. So they are availing these gold loans, small, big, large, all kinds of loans. And also diverse needs are being fulfilled by these loans. Not only if you want to buy a car or a house or anything, if you have a financial emergency, you will go and buy a personal loan in the return of this gold. So all these reasons are leading to these people giving up their gold. Further, it is a stable asset also. Gold is considered a stable asset. That is in their people's psyche, that okay, we bought this gold for this day only, that we will get into some financial trouble, we can get out of it through gold. So they are giving up away their gold. And also we are having this digital revolution where loans are easily available through digital means. So you are again having access to remote areas. Earlier maybe bank branch is not there, but you can get access to gold loan through digital medium. All right. So what is the RBI's finding? RBI's finding about this is that where the situation is getting wrong. So issuing gold loan is not bad, but that gold loan turning into NPA, turning into pending outstanding is an issue. RBI is saying that we have found that the process, the way this gold loan are getting approved is faulty. So sourcing through third party or getting third party to approve everything is a faulty method. Then we have this valuation of gold being done in the absence of the consumer. So that is leading to these assets being not appropriately monetized. Then we have inadequate due diligence and lack of end use monitoring of gold loan. So every time when you issue a loan, you have to monitor what it is being used for. But if you are not monitoring it, for example, somebody किसी ने लिया लोन कार खरीदने के लिए, टैक्सी में चलाऊंगा, बट वो पर्सनल कार खरीद लिया, बट आप उसको मॉनिटर ही नहीं कर रहे हो. सो दैट विल लीड टू NPA बिकॉज देयर विल बी नो इनकम टू पे बैक. So that is another issue. Then there is a lack of transparency during auction of gold ornaments and jewelry on the default of the consumer. So there is something fishy going on. So banks or let's say these little organization, they are auctioning these gold for their profit and they are declaring NPA. So that is another thing. Then weakness in monitoring in the LTV loan to value ratio. Loan to value ratio क्या होता है कि आपने जो वैल्यू दी कोलेटरल के तौर पे वो उतनी वैल्यू थी जितने का आपने लोन लिया कि नहीं लिया, उसमें ये ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं है. Then incorrect application of risk weights. So you are not weighing the risk appropriately. All these things RBI discovered. Then we have this issue of evergreening of gold loans. So the provision was such that if you pay your interest, you have taken loan on your jewelry. If you pay the interest at the point, then you can extend the loan time period. You do not have to give away your, or let's say give back the principal. तो आपने 10 लाख का लोन लिया, ठीक है, गोल्ड आपने रख दिया, ओके. अब कुछ इंटरेस्ट था, मान लो 10% इंटरेस्ट था. अब वो इंटरेस्ट जब आप पे कर दोगे तो आप इसको इनडेफिनेटली एक्सटेंड कर सकते हो इस लोन को, आपको 10 लाख रुपए देने की जरूरत नहीं है. सो दैट इज एन एवरग्रीनिंग ऑफ गोल्ड लोन्स. बट RBI हैज कम विथ नॉर्म्स. RBI हैज सेड दैट ओके दिस इज इनफ, we will not allow such things. So they have come up with a comprehensive review of all these banks, NBFC, all these organizations on how you are approving or appropriating all these gold loans, how you are approving them in a time bound manner. You have to basically find remedial measures. Then you have to monitor these use of this gold loan money, how you are basically seeing that okay loan is being used for the right purpose. Then you are having this adequate control over outsourced activity and third party service provider, basically banks, if they are using third party for any other thing, anything, then you have to basically monitor them. Then in September only this evergreening has been stopped. RBI says that okay you have to pay principal in order to basically replace the loan to or extend the loan tenure. So आप उसको एवरग्रीन नहीं कर सकते अब, ठीक है. नए प्रपोज्ड नॉर्म्स क्या हैं? नए नॉर्म्स में ये है कि लेंडर्स को बेसिकली बैन कर रहा है RBI कि आप एडवांस नहीं कर सकते किसी भी प्राइमरी लेवल पे. प्राइमरी अगर गोल्ड अगर कोई कोलेटरल के तौर पे दे रहा है तो आप एडवांस नहीं इशू कर सकते, या कोई इंस्ट्रूमेंट है जो कि गोल्ड बेस्ड है तो आप उसके बेसिस पे भी नहीं कर सकते. और जो मैक्सिमम LTV आप रखोगे वो 75% का रहेगा. आप एडवांस नहीं दे सकते. लोन तो अभी भी दे सकते हो, एडवांस और लोन में डिफरेंस होता है. आप पैसा नहीं दे सकते हल्की हल्की, गोल्ड लेके आए और आपने पैसा दे दिया, ऐसा नहीं कर सकते. यू कैन इशू अ लोन. देन 75% से ज़्यादा नहीं कर सकते आप पर्सनल कंजम्पशन के लिए, कंजम्पशन गोल्ड लोन के लिए. और दूसरा एलिजिबल गोल्ड कोलेटरल जो है वो यूज़ नहीं होना चाहिए कंकरेंटली कंजम्पशन के लिए एंड किसी मनी जनरेटिंग एसेट के लिए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं गया गोल्ड ज्वेलरी लेके एंड आई वॉज गिवन 10 लाख फॉर माई कार फॉर टैक्सी ड्राइविंग and maybe 50,000 for that I want to buy a phone for my personal use. तो ये नहीं कर सकते. मुझे टैक्सी चलानी है तो मैं ऐसा नहीं कर सकता कि उसी गोल्ड लोन पे मुझे कंजम्पशन लोन भी मिल जाए और मुझे एक एनर्जी लेट्स से मनी जनरेटिंग लोन भी मिल जाए, ऐसा नहीं होगा. दूसरा क्या है कि लेंडर्स शुड नॉट एक्सटेंड लोन वेयर ओनरशिप ऑफ द कोलेटरल इज नॉट अप्रूव्ड और लेट्स से नॉट प्रूव्ड. सो ये आपको इंश्योर करना है कि जो कोलेटरल गोल्ड है, जो गोल्ड है जो मेरा ही है कि नहीं, ये आपको अप्रूव करना है. देन टेन्योर जो है वो आपको 12 महीने से ज़्यादा नहीं करना है. जहाँ पे बुलेट लोन जिसको बोलते हैं, बुलेट लोन का मतलब ये है कि जैसे आज लोन मिला मुझे 15 तारीख है और मान लो 1 साल बाद 12 महीने बाद मुझे पूरा का पूरा लोन इंटरेस्ट सब कुछ वापस करना है. दैट काइंड ऑफ बुलेट लोन 1 महीने 1 साल से ज़्यादा की नहीं हो सकते। पहले वो बड़े बड़े 7 साल 10 साल के दे रहे थे, मीनिंग दैट गोल्ड दे के गया मैं आपको, आपने बोला 10 साल बाद मुझे ये पैसे वापस कर देना इंटरेस्ट के साथ, अब मैं गायब हो गया, ठीक है। अब 10 साल बाद मैं आपको मिलूँ नहीं मिलूँ कोई मतलब नहीं है। अब ये प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन है, ट्राई एंड अटेम्प्ट दिस क्वेश्चन, ओके। दिस क्वेश्चन इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, जस्ट बेस्ड आउट ऑफ दैट अर्लियर क्वेश्चन, ओके। दिस इज फॉर टुडे, वी विल मीट अगेन with another session of DNA. Keep watching. Thank you.